The second technique that we're going to look at is called burnishing. Burnishing involves using the same technique as overlay to start. So you first start with your lightest color and you shade, leaving the white specks of paper showing through your shading. Again, I would do it in multiple directions to try and get the most even shade that you can. Then I would come with the slightly darker color next. And try and get as even as I can. For this technique, you definitely want to have some little white specks left over. So it should look like the overlay at this point. Once you have the two colors or multiple colors on the paper, your next step is to use either what's called a colorless blender pencil. This is a colorless blender pencil. If you look very closely at the tip, it is simply the wax. There's no pigment in this pencil, and it is used to mix. You could use this to mix. You could also use a white, works really well for the burnishing technique to mix. Or you could use your lightest color to mix, to burnish. So in my design that uses red and orange, I would use orange because it's lighter than red. So to do the burnishing technique, I'm going to use the colorless blender pencil because that's why it's made. And what I do is I just go in small circles and I push pretty hard on the paper, and you can see that it is mixing the colored pencil. So it's mixing the red and the orange together to make this reddish orange color. The reason why I'm going in small circles is because I want to blend it all together in multiple directions, and it's mixing in the little white spaces that I left. If I were to push too hard when I was doing the overlay, I would have nowhere to mix. So it's mixing those colors together. If I were to use white, you can see this is what will happen. It will put a soft sort of tint of the color. It will lighten the color and mute it out because the white is actually going down and mixing as well. If you did, say, the lightest color on your design, it will be pretty intense when you mix. So I'm just taking that orange and I'm mixing right over the top of my overlay. I'm pushing very hard and I'm going in small circles, and you can see how bright that color is getting. This technique works really well. This technique I would use if I was doing the word art project that we are working on in class. I would try the burnishing technique with either the lightest color, the colorless blender pencil, or a white.